Well, welcome back to the Alice Stewart Show. Right now, I am thrilled to be joined with three of Arkansas' great food bloggers. We have Daniel, Kevin, and Michael, and I'm going to make sure everyone follows you guys on Twitter and is able to keep up with you in your blogs and your websites. Daniel is with Eat Arkansas. Kevin Shalin is The Mighty Rib. The Mighty Rib, and that doesn't mean it's all about ribs. It's about all kinds of things. That's Michael Roberts, Eat Arkansas and Arkansas Foodies. And you guys do a great job. And Michael, I know your wife helps out quite a bit. She seems to be the photographer.
Yes, she's definitely the visual media specialist. Yeah,
it's great. And I love to cook. I love food, obviously. But it's great to see the food blogging community really work together. And you do a lot of charity work, and the blogs are great in that you can see the good places to go eat, some of the not so good places, but you can see recipes, and the way you guys put pictures up is I like to see that. And talking about food events that come up, last night was the Soma food truck.
Soma event. Second Thursdays,
yeah. How was that?
Well, Hillcrest has first Thursdays, so Soma needed to move theirs to the second Thursday, and they did it last year, and they started it up again this year. It's a lot of the local food trucks, they get together down at the Bernie's Garden, which is a great little venue on South Main Street. And I think we all were there last night and all stuffed our faces. I think I had Thai food from K-Bird Truck that was really good. Green Cart Deli was in town from Conway, and if you guys haven't had them, they do probably the best hot dogs in Arkansas. It's really gourmet dogs. I think Dan wants to probably talk about pizza at this point.
Yeah, I was really excited about the Pizzeria Santa Lucia, which was there. It's this, it's put on by the Palette Catering people, and they do Neapolitan-style pizza. They have this big oven that they tote around behind their car on a trailer, and they make really authentic Neapolitan pie. It was really awesome. I think that everyone really enjoyed it, but I think that everyone should check them out.
And I'm going to echo what Michael Roberts had to say about the Green Cart Deli. It was my first experience with them. They're out in Conway. And this was, I believe, their first time in Soma. And I had the ranch dog last night, and it was one of the most spectacular hot dogs I've ever eaten in my life. And it had bacon bits and coleslaw and pickled peppers and fried onions and this chipotle ranch sauce. And watching Brad sling it back there in his cart, it was kind of truly amazing, and it was just a fantastic hot dog.
That guy's like dinner and a show, because he starts putting them together. He's talking the whole time. He's keeping banner up. He's got all these condiments. He's pulling. He uses these poppy seed hot dog buns. These really great dogs, and he's throwing your toppings and pickles and boy, just talking up a storm. And I don't know. I could have sit there and watched him work for probably the entire night, because it was just a lot of fun.
And I could too, and there's only one thing more entertaining, or there was only one thing more entertaining than that last night. After about 30 minutes, and this is usually each Thursday that we do this together, after about 30 minutes of eating, you look up and Dan will kind of give you that funny look, and he's like, "You guys want to go to Loblolly right now?"
I knew that was coming. Which
is about 2 blocks away. So.
Loblolly has to be mentioned again, because every time I go there, they never cease to amaze me. But if you haven't been to Loblolly yet, it's at the Green Corner store. They do the small batch gourmet ice cream. Yesterday I had some fennel ice cream, which is awesome, and then I always get their double vanilla with their house-made caramel sauce. It is a small pleasure, but I love it.
And if you've ever heard us speak before, you'll know that Daniel Walker has quite a sweet tooth. And we're always talking about ice cream, it seems like, or brownies or cupcakes or cookies.
If you've ever had visions of sugar plum fairies in your head, they look like Dan.
And I think that was after I had already had, I think I had 2 or 3 bundt cakes from the other food truck there, Sugar Shack Sweets. So
yeah, we were well done for desserts. La Pops, which is they're in the River Market, and they have a little mobile cart. They do popsicles,
homemade, very
but
good.
I mean, when I say
fresh
popsicles, it's not
right.
freezer pops. They puree their own fruit, and they do, and they're delicious too. So
and Dan will actually take the bundt cakes from the food truck, and he'll walk them over to the Green Corner store and then get some ice cream from Rob Lolly.
Hey, that was a burst of genius. That was spur of the moment, but it was a burst of genius.
And you'd think he'd be wide as a truck, but he's actually not.
He doesn't eat during the week.
My guests this morning in studio, Daniel Walker from Eat Arkansas, Kevin Shalin, The Mighty Rib, and Michael Roberts with Eat Arkansas and Arkansas Foodies, and talking all things food. But right now, food trucks, tis the season. Food trucks are getting ready to really, really kick off.
Main Street Food Truck Friday is today, so I've got to give a plug for them. I know Sugar Shack is going to be down there, and I honestly, I don't know who else is going to be there. There's usually 2 or 3 trucks down there. That's on Main Street. Get down there right around noon, get you some food. It's a great downtown eating option that's not necessarily fast food, but it's food that they just bring to you. So I got to give them a plug because they've been doing that. Sharon Priest has really done a good job planning that event and getting it going last year and this year too.
And the farmers market is really, it's a great time of year for the farmers market.
Yeah, one in particular that I think it started last weekend, but it's really starting to get going is over across the river in Argenta, the Argenta market. Actually, the Argenta store across the street from the farmers market, they're having their 3rd anniversary little party, and it's from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and they're having some local vendors there, prizes. And like I said, if you go across the street, they've got the farmers market, and I've been there. I think all of us have been there several times. It's a really nice farmers market, and that starts at 7 a.m. and runs till noon.
Well, and then there's the Hillcrest Farmers Market that I would make mention of. I've been actually going there for a few months now. They're one of the relatively new ones, and they've been going year-round. But they are operating out on Kavanaugh Boulevard on Saturday mornings, and there's a little bakery there. I know I'm talking about sweet stuff again. Okay, forgive me, but there's a bakery there called Milo Bakery, and they're there every Saturday morning, and they sell out almost within an hour, and they do some fantastic French pastry. They do a lot of savory stuff too, but they're one of my favorite people in town. So Hillcrest Farmers Market is also a great option.
And there's a lot of great places to eat. The good thing about what you guys are able to do with your blogs, some of you do a little more cooking than others. Some of you do a little more food critiquing than others. And we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, I want to talk to you about, you guys are always really nice when you go to a place. You mention the good stuff, and you hit on some of the things that aren't so great. But I want to hear personally, not places that you don't like, but just kind of foods that you don't like. And you guys are a little bit more of the experts. Talking with Daniel Walker, Kevin Shalin, and Michael Roberts. Encourage you to check out their blogs and follow them on Twitter. Eat Arkansas, The Mighty Rib, and Arkansas Foodies. Track them down and take a look at what they write about food and their pictures. It's really entertaining and educational if you want an education on food. We're going to take a quick break. We'll join the Arkansas food bloggers after this. Welcome back to the Alice Stewart Show. Joined in studio with 3 of the great Little Rock or Central Arkansas food bloggers, Daniel Walker, Kevin Shalin, and Michael Roberts. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
And I encourage everyone to go check out their posts and follow them on Twitter. You can go to Eat Arkansas, The Mighty Rib, and Arkansas Foodies and follow what they do. I love to watch it. I like to watch their critiques of the different restaurants and their recipes and pictures. It's really, really educational, and I enjoy it. And since you guys are the food experts and you've been to all these restaurants and tried all kinds of different foods, tell me what kind of foods or cuisines that we always know what you do like. Tell me what you don't. Daniel, we'll start with you. What kind of food or cuisine just doesn't really sit well with you?
Well, I try to be fairly adventurous, I think, with what I eat. And I actually enjoy a lot of, the unsavory bits of cow and pig and whatnot. And I like liver a lot. I love, intestines and whatnot, but I will not touch brains. That's the one thing that is beyond me. And, I went through medical school, and so I am scared of mad cow disease. And so I keep on thinking every time I see a brain that is going to be me.
We had a pig roast not long ago, and they offered us a piece of the brain, and
I refused. I ate every other bit, I think.
You didn't miss anything. It wasn't that good.
Even if it was fried with melted cheese on it?
It doesn't kill those proteins.
If they put it in ice cream, maybe I'd do it. But I'm not going to touch brains.
I have touched brains, pig brains, and they're disgusting. I've done it twice. Each time I've regretted it. But the one thing, I will punch a man who made me eat liver and onions. And it's like
So
once every 10 years, I'll be at a place like Luby's or Frankie's, and you go through the line and you look at it and you go, wow, that looks really good. And then I try it, and it's completely opposite. It's disgusting.
It's like really not good.
It's really not good, and it's one of those foods that, for me, I just can't stand it. And I really hate green peas. I don't know if many people know this, but I don't know if this stems from my childhood having to eat canned green peas, but I refuse to eat them. I just can't stand them. So those are the two for me.
All right, cross those off your list. Michael, what about you?
I think first, La Hacienda in Benton has a really good liver and onions dish. I recommend
I'll make sure not to go there.
All try it. So it's really delicious. Mine is an organ meat too, and I'm with Daniel. I'll eat most any organ meat. Liver's fine. Sweetbreads are incredible. We eat a lot of that kind of stuff. Tripa, which is fried cow intestine, is delicious. But the one organ that I can't touch is kidneys. And you don't see them on a lot of menus here, but I was overseas. I was in Scotland the first time I ever tried kidneys, and it's one of the most terrible things you'll ever taste. Not to get too graphic on the radio, but the kidney is what processes the waste out of your water. And
urine, Michael. You can say
it's and they say you can soak them and it won't. But no, it tastes like you're eating meat flavored with pee.
There are plenty of other.
And it's the most terrible taste ever. And I've had them prepared 4 or 5 different ways. And it's like you're drinking out of the toilet. I just can't do it.
And since we're going there, I have had lamb testicles 3 times in my life. And one of those times was decent, edible. But
if you're interested in that, I have a blog post on Arkansas Foodies about how to make them.
We'll definitely do that. What we'll do is we'll somehow wrap up this portion of the show and refer people to your website. You can go to Arkansas Foodies
and search lamb fries.
Or you can also, these are great blogs and Twitter feeds that these guys have. Daniel Walker with Eat Arkansas, Kevin Shalin, The Mighty Rib, Michael Roberts, Arkansas Foodies. And it's really entertaining. Not quite as entertaining as this conversation. I will say this, the one thing that I just cannot eat is uni. I don't like uni.
Really?
Yes, I don't like it. And I used to not like Brussels sprouts, but now I'm a big Brussels sprouts fan because I put a bunch of bacon in it, and it's really good.
Brussels really depends on how you cook them. Sometimes they're awesome. Sometimes they taste like old garbage.
Right. Okay, we're going to switch topics here to something a lot more pleasant. Talking with Daniel Walker, Kevin Shalin, and Michael Roberts, my guests in the studio. We've got a few more minutes. I want to talk sandwiches are much more pleasant than this. Where do you guys get a good sandwich? And what makes a good sandwich?
Well, I think that all of us are in agreement that Little Rock really has a fantastic sandwich culture. And it's something I've been really kind of surprised about since moving here. And we've all found really great things. But I think the one that I wanted to talk about was out of another food truck called the Southern Gourmasian, probably my favorite food truck in Little Rock and one of my favorites throughout the country. They do fantastic, what they call Southern Asian fusion, and they do a brisket sandwich, which I think is just phenomenal. And my personal opinion is that brisket is the hardest meat to smoke well, and they do a great kind of play on smoked brisket. They do it with a plum barbecue sauce. It's kind of sweet and a little tangy, and I think it's fantastic. They do it on boulevard bread bun, and it's a great option.
For me, if you go to Whitewater Tavern, it's hard to beat the Huggy Bear, which is complete gluttony. And I've made myself, I think I'm only going to eat this sandwich twice a year because it's these warm bananas, peanut butter, and honey on between some house-made bread, and then you've got to add some slabs of bacon, crispy, thick bacon.
That sounds like an Elvis sandwich.
It is, and it is heaven. And I'm not going to eat it more than twice a year because it's terrible for you. But I got to admit, it is absolutely fantastic sandwich.
That sounds good, Michael. What about you?
Probably the best sandwich place in town is Hillcrest Artisan Meats. My favorite sandwich there is Brandon Brown does a house pate, and then he slices that up and puts it on a baguette with some cornichons and some Dijon mustard, a little bit of greens and tomato, and it's one of the best sandwiches ever. They also do a brick pressed pimento cheese sandwich, which is like a grilled cheese on a baguette with sriracha-based pimento cheese. It's just amazing.
And we've got just a couple minutes left. Paninis, are those still just as popular as they've been, or are they? What's the status of the panini in Central Arkansas?
Where are we at on the panini front?
Well,
I had a good panini at this place called Loblolly Ice Cream.
Oh no! He promised that would not come up.
Did Chef Jonathan from Whitewater make that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the few paninis I've had, but they actually, Loblolly got together with Whitewater Tavern, and they came up with this panini that's on this cornmeal bread, and they put all different kinds of filling in it. But it was actually great. I loved it.
Yeah, and Dan Walker, for full disclosure, owns stock in Loblolly. Just for you.
I don't know a lot of places that are still doing a panini.
I
think you see a lot of kind of the fast casual places. I think like Panera kind of does them, and as far as local places, Guillermo's does a really great. I think we talked about it last time. The turkey panini is just a fantastic gooey sandwich, but I'm really not that big a fan of them, just because I don't know. I'm just not. It's never been something that caught on with me.
Well, they get kind of smashed up. They're a little smaller, and they're kind of fancy. They're not what you'd say, quote unquote, a guy sandwich. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's something
That's why Kevin likes them.
Yeah.
Hey, now as long as it involves ice cream, Dan's all for it. Okay, we've got 1 minute left. I'm gonna throw a curveball at you guys, so to speak, and just rapid fire, quick answer on this. We're talking with Dan Walker, Kevin Shalin, Michael Roberts, foodies, food bloggers. Quick question: baseball season's here. Travs games are big. If you're going to the Travs, what's the first thing you're going to order food-wise at a baseball game?
Beer. And I hope that Bosco's will bring back their hook slide ale that they did for the Travelers a couple of years back. It's incredible beer.
Kevin?
I'm going to get the nachos, and I'm going to pass on they've got this slushy there. I've had it. It's absolutely disgusting. It's filled with sugar, and my kids usually down it, and I won't get that. But I always, when I'm at a ball game, I love to get nachos.
Sounds good. Dan?
I say hot dogs. You got to get hot dogs.
Very good. Very good. All right, food bloggers here. Dan Walker, Kevin Shalin, Michael Roberts, thanks so much for coming in. Look forward to having you back. I encourage you to follow them, Eat Arkansas, The Mighty Rib, and Arkansas Foodies. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.